comes to ball striking, we're all looking for that little tip that will make a massive difference and take you from somebody who is inconsistent with ball striking to somebody who is guaranteed to strike the ball every time. But also, you might just start surprising some of your playing partners how good your ball striking will be after you learn this simple tip. To get this video started, let's take a look at recent Masters champion Jon Rahm's golf swing. Now, in particular, what I want us to focus on is coming in towards the impact position. So the thing that we notice about Jon Rahm is when he's hitting the golf ball, his hands are ahead of the club head. And by making sure that your hands are ahead of the club head when you hit it, there's a number of things. One, it helps you control the loft. So if I can make sure that my hands are ahead of the club head, it kind of makes sure that I'm going to reduce the loft that I start with on the club. And we know that with professional golfers. We know that they generally start with, let's say, a 7-iron about 30 degrees, and they're generally halving it when they come in towards that impact area. That's going to give you the maximum amount of distance. But also, as we'll explore in this video, getting your hands further forward coming in towards that impact area, it kind of reduces the chances of you missing towards the left. So a lot of golfers that I meet end up hitting the golf ball with a kind of scooping action, and then when I go out with them on the golf course, I start to notice the way they aim towards the right hand side to compensate for that scooping action in the first place. So when we're looking at Jon Rahm and we see those hands are far forward, that is exactly what we're going to be copying today, but in a very simple step-by-step fashion. The first things first, if you are practicing off grass, fantastic. If you're going to be practicing off a mat, similar to me, I would suggest just to place an alignment stick down on the ground, and that is going to represent your ball position. The reason for that is because then you can focus your attention on where the club is going to be striking the ground. Now, to become a good ball striker, okay, which basically just means eliminating the miss hits, you need to make sure that the club is striking the ground in line with that alignment stick each and every time. Okay, if you are striking the ground back here, then that's the first thing you've got to focus on. Now, when I'm teaching students, I'm not always kind of rushing to tell them exactly how to do it. I'm just saying to them, look, let's just make some practice swings, striking each and every time on that low point side. And like I say, if you can start to do that, fantastic. You can advance to step 2, which I'll talk about in a moment. If you can't do that, then just practice it. Just spend a little bit of time at home or down the driving range and just build up that coordination until you find that you're able to strike near that line each and every time. And like I say, if I hit a shot now, that will give me the chance to be able to be a pretty good ball striker. But not like in the likes of Rahm, because as we saw in Rahm's video, not only is he sort of striking here, he's striking past the golf ball. So to become a really good ball striker, what I want you to do is I want you to get a golf ball and I want you to place it for a right-handed golfer to the left of the line. And now what I want you to do is I want you to still set up in the position where we were before, but now I want you to make sure that the club is now striking underneath that other golf ball. And that is going to make sure that we are shifting that low point further to the left, which is going to give us a much better chance of better compression. Now, as you're doing this, you should start to notice a couple of things. You should start to notice the way that your eye is drawn to not necessarily just focusing on the ball, but slightly to the left of it. That's a very good thing. And the second thing is you should start to feel more weight shift towards that lead side. That's another good thing. You can start to do that, hit some shots, okay? And just sort of focus your attention again on trying to make sure you're striking past the golf ball by an inch, and you should notice the way that the ball starts to sound a little bit different. It should start to sound like you're really starting to compress the ball, and that's because we are. Now, if you can do that, I want you to do one more step and to place another golf ball next to the current one. We've placed one more golf ball there. Now, I don't necessarily want you to do anything hugely different than you did when there was only one golf ball. Okay, because what tends to happen, I see in a lot of lessons, is when I do this type of exercise, students then start moving the head to try and hit the second golf ball. I don't want that. That's going to lend itself to over the top swinging, which is going to end up meaning that you're going to do this and it's going to become really messy. But what I do want you to do is I still want you to make sure the club is striking where the first golf ball is located. However, what I also want you to do is to try and make sure that the divot is moving past the second golf ball. And if you get really good at this, you can also introduce a third golf ball. Because one of the things that we hear from lots of the greatest ball strikers of all time is they are doing whatever they possibly can to make sure they are keeping that club as low to the ground as possible. And to be able to do that, you see, you have to do two things. One is shaft lean, and the second one is rotation. And these are exactly the same movements that we saw at the beginning of the video demonstrated by Jon Rahm. Now, I tend to see lots of students try these sort of movements, watch lots of videos about rotation and hands forward, and they just get lost and they don't end up doing it. I personally think if you go about it this way, concentrate on striking that second golf ball, and if you become successful at that, you will naturally start to notice that those two things will happen. The first one is the only way I can keep that club striking down on the back of the golf ball is by naturally turning my chest. If I don't bring my chest, that club is going to lift. Turning my chest enables that club to stay down to the ground. Now, what will also happen is because when your body starts opening, your wrist will start flattening. So by just concentrating and taking your time by first of all striking golf ball 1, striking golf ball 2, and then trying to strike golf ball 2 and keep that club moving down towards the ground, that is going to give you a very natural athletic movement with inside your golf swing each and every time. Useful. One of the things that I would suggest that you consider is joining up on my membership site. Now, over on the membership site, you have access to a video library, of which I am adding to on a weekly basis, but you also have access to a community. So on the community, you can upload videos. I am there to reply and point you in the right direction. And one of the things that I think surprises all of my online students is how simple we keep things. So sometimes on the YouTube videos, I talk about some of the complexities and I try and break them down. But when it comes to performance and when it comes to you guys playing better golf, I know simple always works best. Maybe I'll see you over there.